The lane departure entry appeared before anyone at the Cedarvale County Sheriff's Office opened camera event manifest Delta 92. Dana Whitfield did not know that yet. She was standing on the gravel shoulder of State Route 17, one hand resting on the roof of her gray sedan, the other open beside her hip, waiting for Deputy Wade Kessler to finish a verification the patrol system had already completed. The registration was in her name. The insurance was active. Her license was valid. No stolen vehicle alert existed. The dash camera had been recording since Wade activated his emergency lights. At 6:43 that evening, the data supported one ordinary conclusion. Dana was driving her own car. Wade continued asking questions. Who bought it? I did. Who normally drives it? I do. You live around here? I am visiting my mother in Briar Glen. Wade looked through the passenger window at a leather travel case, a folded blazer, and a pharmacy bag on the rear seat. The sedan was clean, but not new. One wheel carried a shallow scrape near the rim. Dana wore a cream blouse, dark slacks, and driving shoes softened by years of use. Nothing indicated theft. Wade returned to his cruiser. The mobile terminal confirmed Dana's address, vehicle identification number, insurance policy, and current registration. He entered another line anyway. Driver delaying verification. When he came back, Dana remained beside the car. What traffic violation did you observe? She asked. You ask a lot of questions. I am asking why I was stopped. I saw you cross the center line. Dana looked toward the road. The lane markings were visible. Traffic was light. She remembered every turn since leaving her mother's house. I did not cross it. Wade stepped closer. So now I am lying? I said what occurred. His eyes moved from her face to the sedan. This vehicle does not fit the situation. What situation? He did not answer. Instead, he pointed toward the hood. Turn around. Dana's pulse changed. Her voice did not. I am complying. I am also asking whether I am being detained for a moving violation. Wade took her arm before she completed the turn. 3 cars slowed as they passed. One passenger lifted a phone near the window. None of the cars stopped. Wade pushed Dana forward until her cheek touched the warm metal of the hood. He kicked her feet farther apart than balance required. You keep talking after being given instructions. Talking is not resistance. He pulled her wrists behind her. The cuffs closed hard. Pain moved from Dana's hands into both forearms. They are too tight. Wade tightened them once more. The body camera recorded the movement. On the patrol terminal, the original lane departure reason had not existed when the lights came on. Wade added it after learning Dana's identity and confirming the vehicle owner. Dana could not see that timestamp. She could only feel the gravel shifting beneath her shoes. The search produced no contraband. The vehicle database remained clear. Wade placed her in the rear of his cruiser anyway. At the sheriff's office, he walked her through booking under fluorescent light. The intake clerk photographed the pressure marks around her wrists, but did not request a medical screening. A second employee heard Wade dictate the report. Erratic driving, delayed identification, aggressive movement, resistance during cuffing. Dana stood in front of the booking camera and looked directly into the lens. She did not argue with the clerk. She did not explain her profession. She asked for the incident number, the unit number, and the camera event reference. Wade laughed from behind the desk. You planning to write a complaint? I am planning to keep the record accurate. 4 hours later, the county prosecutor had not approved formal charges. Dana was released with a citation and an active arrest entry. Her mother, Lillian, was waiting at the kitchen table when Dana returned. She looked first at Dana's wrists, then at the plastic property bag containing her phone and car keys. Dana wrapped a cold towel around both hands and opened the county portal. The arrest report was already there. She saved a copy with the posted timestamp. Then she filed requests for the dash camera, body camera, patrol GPS, CAD history, complaint records, and camera event manifest Delta 92. At the sheriff's records office, Leah Morgan opened the manifest. Dash cam available. Body cam available. GPS available. Reviewer access. None. Leah had seen that final line before. She processed the request without reporting the pattern. At the kitchen table, Dana received the preservation confirmation. The county had recorded the truth from the moment Wade activated his lights. What it had not done was require anyone to look at it. The dash camera file arrived 3 days after Dana Whitfield's release. She opened it at her mother's kitchen table. Lillian sat across from her with both hands around a cup of tea, while the sedan appeared on the laptop screen. Dana's car remained centered in its lane. Its speed held steady. The turn signal activated before each movement. Wade Kessler's emergency lights came on before the CAD system contained any lane departure reason. Dana paused the video and wrote down the timestamp. 6:42 and 18 seconds. Registration ownership appeared on Wade's terminal shortly afterward. The swerving allegation was entered later. The body camera file arrived next. Dana listened once without taking notes. Then she played it again. The recording captured Wade questioning ownership after the database had already confirmed her name. It captured Dana stating that she was complying. It captured Wade treating her request for the stop reason as resistance. It also captured Dana telling him the cuffs were too tight. The sound of the ratchet followed. Lillian looked away from the screen. Dana did not. She saved the original file hash, copied the recording to 2 encrypted drives, and sent a preservation notice to the county and the court. Then she requested Wade's complaint history. 11 formal complaints had been filed over 14 years. Every complainant identified in the available records was Black or Hispanic. Each complaint had closed with nearly identical language. Insufficient evidence to substantiate. Camera event manifests were attached to several files. The review duration fields were blank. Dana began calling the names she could locate. Kiara Benton answered first. Wade had stopped her on State Route 17 2 years earlier. She accepted an obstruction plea because her public defender warned that challenging a deputy's testimony could expose her to jail. The conviction later appeared on a background check. A school withdrew its offer for a teaching assistant position. "I thought the video was gone," Kiara said. "It was attached to the file," Dana replied. "The audit history does not show anyone opening it." Kiara was silent for several seconds. Then she agreed to provide her plea records. Samuel Brooks had been stopped 3 times. During the final stop, Wade made him kneel beside the road while passing drivers watched. No contraband was found. No charge survived. Samuel began taking a longer route to church and the grocery store. He had kept fuel receipts because his accountant asked why his monthly mileage had increased. Those receipts placed the change immediately after Wade's last stop. At the sheriff's records office, Leah Morgan reviewed Dana's expanded request. She opened one of the older complaint manifests. Body camera file available. Reviewer duration, 0. She opened another. The same result. For years, supervisors had told Leah that records staff did not reinvestigate complaints. Their job was to release what was requested and leave conclusions to sworn personnel. She had accepted that boundary. This time, she created a certified audit export before local permissions could be changed. When a court subpoena arrived, she transferred it through the protected preservation channel. Dana filed her defense without an attorney. She also submitted a sealed professional conflict disclosure. Judge Miriam Cole reviewed it privately. The filing confirmed that Dana was a sitting federal district judge on approved leave. Miriam kept the information sealed. Dana's profession had no bearing on whether Wade possessed a lawful reason to stop her. The hearing opened in courtroom 3C. Calvin Price presented the county's version. Erratic driving, delayed identification, hostile conduct, necessary force. Wade repeated each point under oath. Dana began with the dash camera. "Please identify where my vehicle crossed the center line." Wade watched the monitor. He could not. He said the camera angle might not capture everything he observed. Dana placed the patrol, GPS, and CAD history beside the video. The recorded stop reason appeared after the emergency lights and after the registration return. Then she played the body camera sections. Her hands remained visible. Her voice remained controlled. Wade initiated contact. When Calvin described the racial language as regrettable but legally irrelevant, Miriam ruled that it could be considered when evaluating motive, credibility, and whether the escalation was accidental. Kiara testified about the plea and the lost job. Samuel testified about the repeated stops and the route he no longer used. Leah explained that complaint videos had existed, but the system did not require reviewers to open them before selecting a closure code. Calvin then questioned Dana's ability to interpret police data and courtroom procedure without professional qualifications. Miriam stopped him. She ordered the sealed disclosure opened only because the county had placed Dana's legal competence at issue. The clerk read Dana's current judicial position into the record. Dana did not turn toward Wade. Miriam stated that the disclosure gave Dana no additional rights and added no weight to the video. The evidence had already established the sequence. Before recess, Miriam issued an immediate preservation order covering every Wade Kessler traffic stop complaint closure, camera manifest, plea file, reviewer access log, and sheriff's approval. The charges against Dana had not yet been formally dismissed, but the county could no longer treat the case as one disputed stop on an empty road. Judge Miriam Cole resumed the hearing with camera event manifest Delta 92 on the screen. She began with the stop basis. Wade Kessler's emergency lights activated before the CAD system contained any lane departure entry. The dash camera showed Dana Whitfield's sedan centered in its lane. The patrol GPS showed no abrupt movement. The registration had returned valid before Wade developed what he later called an ownership concern. Miriam entered the first finding. The traffic stop lacked a supported, contemporaneous basis. She moved to compliance. Dana had produced identification. She had exited the vehicle. Her hands remained visible. She did not pull away, strike Wade, or attempt to leave. Her questions had been converted into obstruction because Wade needed conduct that justified the arrest he had already decided to make. The second finding followed. Verbal inquiry was falsely recorded as resistance. The body camera established the force sequence. Dana reported pain from the cuffs. Wade tightened them. He requested no medical examination and described the additional pressure as control. Miriam called it punitive force. Then she addressed the report. Swerving, aggressive movement, resistance during cuffing. Each statement conflicted with video, GPS, audio, or timing data. Wade had repeated the same account under oath. The official narrative was materially false. The final finding concerned race. Wade continued questioning ownership after the vehicle database confirmed Dana's name. His language, stop history, route pattern, and prior complaints showed that race influenced the decision to stop, escalate, and document the encounter. All charges against Dana were dismissed with prejudice. The arrest entry was ordered sealed. The preservation order remained active. State investigators and federal civil rights prosecutors received the full record before the courtroom closed. Dana took no role in the charging decision. The review expanded beyond her case. Investigators examined Wade's traffic stops, complaint files, body camera manifests, plea agreements, and use of force reports. The problem was not missing evidence. The evidence had been attached. Reviewers had closed files without opening it. Wade was terminated for cause and placed under emergency decertification. Prosecutors charged him with deprivation of rights under color of law, false imprisonment, false official statements, perjury, obstruction, and assault-related offenses. At sentencing, his attorney argued that supervisors had approved his work for years. The court returned to the same manifest. Wade had initiated the stop. Wade had written the reason afterward. Wade had tightened the cuffs. Wade had submitted the false report. Wade had repeated that report while under oath. Institutional tolerance explained his confidence. It did not remove his choices. He received a multi-year custodial sentence and a permanent ban from law enforcement, corrections, private security, and any position involving custodial authority. Pension credit connected to the period of criminal conduct entered forfeiture. His name was placed in the statewide credibility database. Every prosecution that depended materially on his testimony was flagged for review. He was not allowed to resign before the termination finding became final. The record would not describe his departure as retirement. Sheriff Nolan Briggs faced separate consequences. External reviewers found that he had signed complaint dismissals without proof that linked footage had been watched. Several certifications stated that available evidence had been reviewed. The audit history showed 0 viewing time. Nolan lost complaint sign-off authority and control of internal investigations immediately. The county commission placed him on unpaid administrative suspension and opened removal proceedings. When he attempted to call the problem an isolated failure by one deputy, investigators produced years of closure forms carrying his signature. He had not made Wade's roadside decisions. He had certified that the department had examined evidence it had never opened. Nolan was removed from office after the external hearing. His law enforcement certification entered review, and prosecutors opened a false certification inquiry into the complaint files he had signed. The sheriff's office remained under outside monitoring after his departure. Leah Morgan received protected witness status for preserving the audit export. She also received a sustained finding for failing to escalate repeated zero-duration reviews earlier. Her cooperation mattered. So did the years when she had selected procedural comfort over intervention. She remained employed but lost eligibility for promotion during the monitoring period. She was assigned to the full historical review and required to identify every complaint closed without verified footage access. Kiara Benton's obstruction plea was vacated. Her record was expunged and corrected across the background check systems that had received it. The county reimbursed her lost wages, legal expenses, and the value of the teaching position withdrawn after the false conviction. The school district received the corrected disposition directly. Kiara did not have to explain Wade's lie during another interview. Months later, she accepted a classroom position with full benefits. Samuel Brooks received reimbursement for fines, court costs, and documented travel expenses caused by avoiding State Route 17. His stops were formally classified as civil rights violations. He asked the county to publish route-level stop data every quarter. The first report appeared without his name. Samuel began using State Route 17 again. The county automatically notified every person whose case involved Wade. Plea cases received priority. No former defendant had to file a new complaint before the video was reviewed. Several convictions were vacated. Others were referred for new hearings. A court-supervised restitution fund used county insurance, recovered legal costs, and forfeited benefits to compensate people who had lost jobs, vehicles, housing opportunities, or professional licenses because of unsupported arrests. The reforms addressed each point of failure. Officers had to enter the stop basis before accessing full owner information. The original reason could not be overwritten. Any reason added after emergency light activation created an automatic audit alert. Every traffic arrest attached its camera manifest, GPS history, CAD entries, and original file hashes to the prosecutor and defense files. A complaint could not close until the system recorded who opened each video, when it was opened, and how long it was reviewed. A zero-duration review moved automatically to an outside office. Prosecutors could not offer pleas in resistance or obstruction cases before defense counsel received the complete camera package. Quarterly stop statistics triggered independent review when race, route, officer, and outcome disparities crossed a written threshold. The sheriff could no longer serve as the sole final reviewer of a civil rights complaint. Camera Event Manifest Delta 9-2 was transferred to the state civil rights repository. It contained no courtroom photograph and no reference to Dana's judicial title. Only the sequence. Emergency lights activated. Registration confirmed. Stop reason entered afterward. Video available. First county review completed only after Dana requested the record. Below it sat the historical complaint list. Several entries carried the same final notation. Video available. Reviewer duration 0. Weeks later, Dana returned to Briar Glen. Her travel blazer rested across the guest room chair. Lillian's medication organizer sat open beside the kettle. Dana divided the morning tablets, closed each compartment, and placed the first dose beside her mother's cup. Her phone displayed notice that the county had completed its first mandatory complaint review cycle. Dana read the status, turned off the screen, and switched off the kitchen light. This is a fictional story,